Hi everybody, as you know, this module's topics are related to an overall discussion on the business processes and a detailed examination of how to approach analysis of the business processes. As I may have mentioned to you before, topics like this one is really rich in content and can be taught over a much longer time. In fact, we do have a full semester course in business process management that we teach for our quality management track. So what we're trying to do here again is give you a good exposure about the issues, and in this particular case, a way to analyze a set of processes, in your company and in your workplace setting, with the primary intention that you first analyze the process the way it is done now, and then look at possible areas of improvement so that obviously it is done in a much more efficient and much more productive manner. That is, all right. This is also one of the topics that is kind of close to my heart since I dealt with business process analysis for about 6 years of my life as a supply chain industry professional before I again became an academic. That is, and if you look at it from the standpoint of the fact that business processes are there in all sorts of businesses, and if you have a running operation, you would have activities and tasks performed by the employees in the organization. And typically, there's always a need and there's always a scope, rather, for making these tasks done in a more efficient manner. That is. So typically, therefore, when you find when you go to analyze such processes, you will find a lot of inefficiencies, and therefore, you typically, or more typically than not, you will find scenarios where there is always a scope for improvement. All right, and experience and research in this area basically says that if you look at the set of inefficiencies in a set of business processes, these inefficiencies are more prevalent or could be more prevalent in larger companies than smaller ones. And the reasons for this is due to various factors, actually, some of which could be that usually in larger employees you have many more departments or silos essentially. Many of these silos actually have a large number of employees, so that by itself creates an opportunity for inefficiencies to kind of creep in. That is, there's also the instance of legacy growth of some of the tasks and activities that are done in a process like this, and a persistence of the legacy processes and practices that have been around for a number of years in larger organizations usually create bad practices. That is, this is true also for larger as well as smaller size organizations, and which is that anytime there is an interface set of processes between, let's say, two departments, usually the interface, because it falls between the two departments, it really is not primary responsibility for either one, and therefore there's a tendency for such activities to fall through the cracks. So this is true for whether it's large or small, it really doesn't matter. Second, and there's a few other points here regarding the employees who actually do these tasks and processes. Many of the employees in a lot of companies are comfortable or get comfortable doing things in a certain way for a long time, which may not be optimal, the set of things that they do, or the set of things that they do may have changed over time because demands in the marketplace may have changed, but they have not kept up, to space with what the market demands. That is. It is also true that many of these employees are or could be long-standing employees in the company, and therefore there is a tendency to be kind of resistant to any change, particularly if they have been there for a really long time and maybe close to retirement or maybe comfortable in what they're doing for 10, 20, 30 years. And therefore, there's a general resistance to change when you go to think or any of the things that they do as part of their day-to-day activities. That is. Personally, I've faced many of these scenarios in my experience of looking at various business processes in different organizations and then analyzing. And as you can see, this is not an easy exercise to do because, first of all, you're relying on those very same employees to get some information as to what they do. So you need a lot of data to analyze the processes first. Uh, and in many cases, the data is not available in a manual or a procedural manual or things like that. You have to ask those employees. Sometimes you may have to do the data collection yourself. Most important, once you do the data collection and suggest the improvements, many of the suggestions result in eliminating the so-called fat in the organization, which means elimination of few employee lines here and there, which obviously doesn't go well. So you can see as you tackle this area of business process analysis and improvement, there's always a resistance to change, how you kind of go about doing this, all right? So kind of keep this in the back of your mind as you start looking at the concepts in this particular area and how we kind of approach it, all right? So what we'll try to do in this module is to give you a sense of the analysis that can be done or should be done when you look at a set of business processes. And again, the way we'll do this is conceptually, you should be looking at the lectures, obviously, as to see, what are some of the tools and techniques that are available first. So you got to first look at that. Read the book chapter, obviously, and then kind of go to the cases. Now, since this part of the course or this module actually focuses quite a bit on the analysis piece of how to look at a set of business process and make suggestions, we will do things slightly in a different manner compared to what we have done in the rest of the course, which is we will use cases a lot more in this particular module. So as you'll see, there are actually 4 cases scheduled for this module. 2 of these cases, the Kirsten Cookies case and the Shouldice Hospital case, are from the Chase Jacobs book. All right, and these are short cases at the back of the chapter. So what we do is for these two cases kind of set the platform in terms of how to analyze the issues. So what we'll do is we are doing a couple of short quizzes on each of the 2 cases, which you have to submit basically. Then we'll have 2 other cases. These are the Harvard cases on scientific glass and National Cranberry in that order. So we'll do scientific glass first and then National Cranberry, where we will be doing, we'll be asking you to do a submission of your analysis for those 2 cases as well, but this time more in a written format rather than an online quiz. And in order to set it up first, what we'll do is we'll do a WebEx session first on the scientific glass case, and we'll ask you to then submit something on that case, and then we'll do a WebEx session, a follow-up session on the National Cranberry case. All right. So that's how we'll do this module, and a further detailed plan regarding the dates as to when things are due is there in my email regarding this particular module. All right. So hope you have fun on this thing. There's a little bit of not a lot of, but a little bit of number crunching, I would say, that you have to do as you first read a case and analyze, the state of their process, and then see, what improvements are required to make it more efficient and make it more in tune with what the market wants, that is. And I hope this these 4 cases together will tie up the concepts over the next couple of weeks or so, and then we'll see where we are at the end of the module. But you will get a good understanding, as to how to approach this particular aspect of making things more efficient and making activities in the organizations being get performed at a much more productive level, that is. All right, so hope you have fun on this particular module.